Mysterious case in France. A whole family has been reported missing, the parents and their 3 children. Accident, free decision to disappear, or family drama? Looking at the chalet, one has the feeling the house is inhabited, and if not, the people just left. The work engaged by the coroner and his squad of scientists help us understand what really happened in the Flactives chalet during the night of April 11th, 2003. Indeed, from the early stage of the investigation, the police will take for granted that this family of 5 has been murdered right in their chalet. The police can sketch out a pretty detailed crime scenario. It is certain that something happened, something irreversible. 5 days after being reported missing, the coroner and his team are brought on site with a dozen men searching through the Flactives' home. Having them on site look all the more necessary since no clear evidence has yet been found, and they are the experts. They are looking for clues and evidence no one can see. Looking at the Flactives chalet, one has the feeling of a well-kept and tidy place. And those experts from the police are going to find this evidence quickly. First, a 6.35 case and broken parts of a tooth. Plus, the investigators are now about to make a discovery of capital importance. Their team quickly finds traces of blood in between the floorboards of the house. The blood samples reveal a human origin. Now the investigators understand the chalet has been thoroughly cleaned up after the killing. The coroner and his team can now use this astonishing tool called Bluestar, a reagent that makes blood traces appear in half-light, even when they've been removed. What they'll find changed the whole investigation. In the Flactives chalet, the chemical reagents show huge surfaces covered with blood. They are invisible to the naked eye. And we are now talking about pools of blood. And the investigators know 1 or more crimes have happened there. The blood samples collected on the spot show without a doubt evidence that this blood indeed comes from this family of 5, and the Flactives have been killed as a result. We have been able to lay hands on the very map done by the investigators based on DNA samples, where all the blood traces of the 5 victims have been found, and we can reconstruct the progress of the crime during the night of April 11th. There are different spots in the chalet where traces of blood are more or less important, and we can possibly figure who was killed where. We know it, at least the coroner does, for sure. The blood of Xavier Flactive has been traced on that armchair and 2 other furniture of the living room. The police also identified the blood of Gregory Flactive, 6 years old, on the kitchen table and in different places of the kitchen. And as to Graziella Ortolano is concerned, traces of her blood have been found on the stairwell leading to the lower floor. Graziella Ortolano has been killed while climbing up the stairs, and we know exactly she was slightly leaning forward when she was killed, as well as other elements, just by looking at the place where these little drops of blood were found on the stairs. Traces of blood left by the elder daughter let us think she tried to escape, as we have traces on the table of the living room, in the kitchen, several windows, and on top of an armchair in the living room. We can guess that Sarah did her best to escape and avoid being killed by her murderer, and that Laetitia, the youngest daughter, might have tried hiding in her bedroom upstairs, where she finally got killed. Traces have been found in the girl's bedroom, where she had taken shelter on the first floor. The coroner's team also found out that not only a firearm but also an object was used to strike blows at some of the victims. This is a blunt object, maybe a pickaxe helve or a baseball bat or something like that, that would come down smashing the victims and explain the large amount of blood spilled over. Have the victims first been shot or have they been hit and shot to death? Anything could have happened, but we know for sure the crime was terrible. It looks as though it were an execution, and some of these people must have had enough time to realize fully what was going to happen to them. We are talking of a massacre here in that chalet, and analyzing the samples allowed us to understand that other than the flag thief's family members' blood, there also was someone else's blood on site, which now is the lead trail followed by investigators. There are 5 DNAs, one for each of the 5 people in the family, plus that one belonging to a male mixed to them all. There is now a 6th DNA that belongs to an unknown person. The police considers this DNA as possibly being the murderer's DNA. But in any case, the police knows it is dealing with a manipulator, and events will prove them true.